Hello everyone and welcome back guys to Season 2 and Round 14 of the F1 2018 Williams Road to Glory Career Mode, where today we're here at the Italian Grand Prix, and a little bit of an apology from me as to why we couldn't get any episode out yesterday. I was planning on recording it, and then version 1.07 of F1 did unfortunately drop, meaning that I wouldn't have the time to get it out when I wanted to. But we're back today for the Italian Grand Prix. Really looking forward to this one. Hopefully one that should suit the car overall. If you missed out on the last one, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. We sort of answer a few questions at the moment, going through the series about like what upgrades I'm planning on doing and sort of the strategy between now and the end of Season 2. But just sort of give you guys a brief rundown. Basically, I'm trying to bank as many R&D points as possible at the moment. So if, for example, we end up with an aerodynamic change for Season 3, then I've basically got enough R&D points to obviously be able to alter that and make sure that the car is ready for Season 3, because obviously we've got like 19 aero upgrades on the car, and it wouldn't be ideal to, you know, have to lose all of that good performance that we now have on the car as well. But in terms of the Italian Grand Prix, that was actually going to be quite a simple one in all fairness. We're not going to bother with qualifying, we're just going to get a fresh engine on the car ready for this Grand Prix. You know, really we should be able to slice our way back through the field anyway, so I can't imagine, you know, not having the grid penalties is going to affect our position all too much. So we're just going to dive it straight into the Italian Grand Prix.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Esteban Ocon in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Raikkonen, Vettel, Sergio Perez, and Bottas, Magnussen, Verstappen, Sainz, and Charles Leclerc, Hülkenberg, Ricciardo. They've taken a grid penalty. Fernando Alonso and Grosjean, Van Dorn, Ericsson, Pierre Gasly, and Brendan Hartley, Stroll, and the Professor. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
So here we are then, ready for the Italian Grand Prix, and hopefully, you know, we should be able to have quite a good one today, starting from the very back of the grid. My teammate as well, Lance Stroll, actually, with quite a few penalties as well, which means it's going to be a last question mark challenge here in episode 35 of this Williams Road to Glory. But here we are then on the grid, ready for the Italian Grand Prix. Really looking forward to this one here in Monza. It is 5 lights on the grid. It's a very long hole, but it is finally lights out, and away we go. They're off to a fairly poor start, struggling to get the power down as well as I would have liked, but it's not going to be all too much because, well, going into turbo, it's just going to be an absolute bottleneck here. We're going to try and brake nice and tidily, but slip down the inside of the Toro Rosso there, as well as my teammate. I think it was Stoffel Van Dorn getting caught out on the outside there. So we have made up 4 places off the start there. Brendan Hartley, unfortunately, got sent going the wrong way around there. Not too sure what happened to him, but, you know, we'll certainly take that start for myself up 4 places here all over the back of Marcus Ericsson. He's trying to look around the outside of Fernando Alonso, but Alonso, the dive bomb of the century there, we try and go at the inside of Ericsson there. A little bit of contact on the way out, as I thought he would have backed out of that one there. Well, we do now move up into P15 of the Grand Prix here, and I would certainly take that off the start of this Grand Prix. There are 4 places made up, sorry, 5 places even made up, even in the opening half a lap there. And now, hopefully, we'll just try and settle into a bit of a rhythm. You can see Grosjean is a good sort of half second to second already up the road there, as I obviously got caught out a little bit with Ericsson. But skipping all the way on, though, to lap 5, we slowly but surely caught up to the back of Roman Grosjean again. You can just see ahead of me, there is a huge train of cars here as we come in towards the final sector of this lap. Jeff just reminding me about the overtake mode. Grosjean is going to try and look up the inside of Fernando Alonso here, and what they're going to do is try and focus on our run on the exit of the corner here. Are we going to be able to get a good run? Yes, we can. Out of the final corner, use the overtake mode, use the rich revs and the DRS. We're going to get past Alonso, we're going to get past Hülkenberg, past Magnussen, past all 6 of them there. It's a 6-car overtake down towards turn 1. That is something you don't often hear in a Formula 1 there. We've run horrifically deep into the corner there, but I'm certainly going to claim those places there. What a move. Well, just the straight line OP of the Williams car. I certainly was not expecting to make that one work as we come out of turn 3 there through Curva Grande. Up to P9 now of the Italian Grand Prix. What a move that certainly was. Just optimistic, and obviously with how wide the Italian Grand Prix circuit is, down that front straight. Certainly made our life just a little bit easier there. But now onto the end of lap 8. We're all over the back now of Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez as we come out of the final corner. Once again, going to use the overtake mode, the rich revs, and the DRS here down the long run towards the one, all the way over 225, almost 230 miles an hour as we come in towards the one. The slip down the inside of Verstappen and almost a Ricciardo-esque move, get it nicely parked on the apex. Right around his outside we go, and now we move up into P7 of the Italian Grand Prix. On to the end though of lap 10, and we will be diving in for our one and only pit stop of the Grand Prix. As you can see, we're all over the back of Valtteri Bottas on our way in here. Hopefully we can try and get off to a nice clean stop as we break on the marks. We're going to go on to a set of medium tyres. We do get held, unfortunately, ever so slightly run over. I think one of the Renault pit crew there. That was a bit unfortunate for him, but we will come now back out all the way down, and I think P17 of this race, Sebastian Vettel, has just about come out ahead of me there. A huge moment on the exit of the corner there, where we do now come out back out in P17 of the Grand Prix there. So not the best place at this stage of the day, but obviously a lot of the AI do still have to make their first pit stops here in Italy. You know, it's an interesting strategy from the team though. They didn't really think that these soft tyres could actually make the distance here, and the super softs in the first stint really just did not have the pace that I would have really liked to, you know, feel confident on them all the way through these next few laps here. But we're now going to try and hopefully get a little bit of an undercut on a few of the AI. But you can see one lap later we're behind Sergio Perez still, so clearly it hasn't worked out as well as I would have hoped though. But we are still within the 1 second window, so we can still certainly close up a whole lot more as we now come through Ascari. Then we picked up a 3 second time penalty. That's not going to make my day any easier there, just from running that little bit too wide through the corner. I'll say we were definitely pushing on the limit there, but very unfortunate that we did pick up a 3 second time penalty at the halfway stage of this Grand Prix there. So a little bit unfortunate, but it's certainly not race ending any time soon. As we come out of the final corner, a load more cars now have dived into the pit lane. They're all going to be going on to a set of soft tyres right the way through to the end of this Grand Prix. You can see we come out now all the way back up in P9. Verstappen has actually been able to make the overcut work as well there. So unfortunately for me, you know, we've come out, well, pretty much right where we were there or thereabouts, but unfortunately we have lost out on a couple of places. Lap 16 though now, all over the back of Valtteri Bottas as we make the long run towards turn 1. 225, 228, 220, 230 miles an hour there as we come down towards turn 1, right around the outside of the Mercedes car there, down through turn 1 there, on the inside for turn 2 on the exit. And we will now move back up into P7 of the Grand Prix as Sebastian Vettel opting for his second pit stop of the day there. Clearly not the race that Ferrari would have wanted so far. You know, the strategy just has not been on their side throughout this Grand Prix so far. They're attacking the curbs quite nicely through the second chicane though. We do keep it just about between the white lines. We think we dip the rear wheel ever so slightly on the gravel there. But 1 lap later on to lap 18, so we're all over the back of Sergio there, and there's going to be nothing he's going to be able to do to defend from that very easy move down the front straight there, 225 miles an hour almost. So now we've got Verstappen and Charles Leclerc fighting just up the road here. So hopefully just a couple of laps later we can try and capitalise on these guys as well. Neither of those cars particularly fast in a straight, but that Sauber overall has got a very good package there. I think it's actually the 4th best car coming into this Grand Prix weekend, actually ahead of us once again in the Williams machinery there. Use the slipstream, use the DRS. Are we going to get close enough down towards Tom? We're certainly going to be quite far back still, and they're going side by side, so no way we're going to try and gamble a bit of a lunge there. We're going to try and focus on our exit of the first chicane. See how much we've closed up already there as we come out of the corner. Are we going to be able to get good traction on the exit? I think we are. We're going to use the overtake mode to the outside of Max Verstappen here. Use this Mercedes power unit to our advantage there. Charles Leclerc tries to slam the door shut there, but he does try to move back over to the race line. We send it down the inside, lock up the front inside wheel there. A very aggressive move, but we do now make it work. Up into P4 of the Italian Grand Prix here, and this has certainly been quite a good little race for ourselves. As we said, you know, starting all the way back in last place for this Grand Prix. You know, Monza, it's not exactly a difficult track to overtake at, but we've certainly been able to slice our way through the field here. But on to lap 23, and well, really, we were able to get the gap up to about 2 seconds ahead of Charles Leclerc there, but unfortunately the fresher, quicker tyres on that Sauber car made it very difficult to try and pull out any more of an advantage over that there. So unfortunately, you know, with that 3 second time penalty, it's really going to cost me throughout these final couple of laps of the Grand Prix. It would actually be Kimi Räikkönen that would get past Charles Leclerc by the end of that race here. But through the final couple of corners, it's going to be Lewis Hamilton who will finally take Mercedes' first Grand Prix victory of the season there. They've been very, very close and very, very unlucky on quite a few different occasions there, but finally Mercedes have been able to take home that elusive race victory in, well, the 2019 season, so to say. Grosjean is out of the Grand Prix as well there, but through the final corner, it is going to be last to fourth on the road, and unfortunately it's only going to be last to sixth overall, but it is still 8 points in the bag, and I will certainly take that.
Okay, good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. So, Ant, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
And now it's time to wind down and celebrate after that fantastic Grand Prix. Here they come, your top three, out onto the podium.
So there we are then, guys, the end of the Italian Grand Prix, and quite an exciting one on the whole in terms of action. There was certainly quite a lot of overtakes going on. That 6-car overtake towards the start of the Grand Prix I will certainly take. But yeah, Hamilton won from pole position there, 11 seconds clear of Esteban Ocon, so clearly, you know, that Mercedes car down the straight is still a force to be reckoned with there. Seb would come through for P3, so at least one Ferrari did get on the podium there, but I'm sure they'll be very, very disappointed. I think that's now 4 races this season that they haven't won. So 10 from 14 and isn't exactly a bad run on the whole, but I'm sure this was going to be the race that they really, really wanted to win there. Raikkonen would come through for P4, does mean that gap at the top does drop ever so slightly, with Charles Leclerc once again on a fantastic day out in P5. We, though, would move from P20 all the way up to P4 ahead of Verstappen, Bottas, Sergio Perez, and Ericsson would mean that Sauber get a double points haul in what is not technically their home Grand Prix, but obviously Alfa Romeo ties as well with them. Red Bull's Daniel Ricciardo would unfortunately just miss out on points ahead of Sainz, Hulkenberg, Alonso, K-Mag, Pierre Gasly, Van Dorn. Lance Stroll would unfortunately finish in second to last. They're barely 2 tenths clear of Brendan Hartley, obviously after his spin at the start. Not a particularly good day out for Lance, my teammate, in that Grand Prix. But in terms of the drivers' standings, a little bit of chopping and changing around the order. Obviously, Kimi Raikkonen's 3-race lead at the top will now drop ever so slightly now, down to 72 points over his teammate Sebastian Vettel. But, you know, the fact he's got to close down 3 race victories over 7 Grand Prix is going to be very, very difficult to do there. Well, you can see Hamilton actually very, very close now to Seb as well after a good few results recently, only 11 points back ahead of Danny Rick once more there. We now move up past Sergio Perez. They're just 2 points behind Valtteri Bottas, and I would certainly take P5 overall in this championship. Ocon with that strong result as well, that second place, would double his points total and now jump Fernando Alonso and K-Mag as well there. And in terms of the Constructors' standings, no changes there. We just sort of solidify ourselves in a little bit of a window in P5. But there we are then, guys. That has been the Italian Grand Prix. Hopefully, you know, you guys have enjoyed this video. Make sure you do like and subscribe as well for more content. But hopefully, I will see you guys next time for the Singapore Grand Prix.